because life be lifing. So sometimes you have to tap into that childhood sort of, energy that used to, that imagination just take us someplace else. So with my studio, like when I'm not out in the field working on others' vision, I'm in here kind of just tapping into my childhood.
Right. I love it. Awesome and amazing day, you all. It's Nikki B here, right here on Futureland365. 95.9 WOVU. And as you guys can see, we are in a new studio. Yes. We're here at Studio Blkbox. But before I get into all of that, I want you guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And make sure that you tune into our newsletter, right? You don't want to miss all of the awesome, amazing events that we have coming on. So Futureland365.com. You don't want to miss all of the upcoming events that we have going on. And stay tuned. Be aware. Be in the know. Stay connected. Futureland365.com. Join on to our newsletter. So you guys, I'm so excited here because this is a new season, season 3. Man, season 2 was absolutely wild. And I say that because I have a whole journal, Lawrence, of all of the guests that we had. I was able to connect resources, connect dots, build relationships, and build on my own personal platform, professional platform with techies, entrepreneurs, business owners, creatives, all the things. So had some really good highlights there. So you guys, you're like, who is this person? Well, if you don't already know, this is the founder and visionary of Studio Blkbox.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Bonton.
Thank you, Mrs. Nikki.
So I always say his name like that. So I want to know, is that the correct? Yes,
it's Bonton, but it's Creole, so it's pronounced Bonton.
See, I knew there was something else to that.
But everybody, the American version is Bonton.
Bonton.
Yes.
Okay. Say it again, the Creole way?
Bonton.
Bonton.
It's like,
I'm going to say it like that.
The ends are silent, and I think it means let the good times roll, fashionable. I did a little research on it, but all those things, yeah.
Well, I think that's so interesting because that's who you are. Would you say that?
Yes, I would agree. I think, and I got it honestly, so the creative side of me was handed down from my father. He was an artist. Wasn't in my life much, but the times that I did spend with him, he taught me how to draw, even though I wasn't very good. But I fell in love with art because of him.
Yeah, I love that so much. Yeah, and I say that from my perspective. From the first time we met, I believe it was a virtual call that we had. And as we always say, Alicia Ellis, she is a super connector.
Facts, yeah.
She connects the right people with the right purpose and the right partnerships. And when we connected, I was just like, and he was sharing his idea and his vision that he had for this idea live in the lands, you guys.
Yes, yeah.
That was an amazing time.
Yes, it was. It was. I was happy with the result. I mean, I really was. Just to see something come to life. And again, Alicia, thank you. Just having someone believe in your vision, it's important, especially one that can help you execute. So, Alicia, thank you. But Live in the Land was a success, and it's really about shining a light on the city. I think that's how Alicia put it, just shining light on the city of Cleveland and kind of just letting us know that there are some really dope things, some really dope people, some really dope activations in the city that need light shine on them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say another way that this idea came to life, because when you have an idea, you need resources to move it along, right?
Yes.
So one of those great resources was part of the Spark grant.
Yes.
So you were able to submit that grant, and you worked with a couple of people like myself, and you were able to put the money back in the community, right? So keeping that ecosystem going.
Yes.
We were at Lounge at CLE, so they were able to receive, some of those funds and things like that to be able to host that space, right?
Yes.
So
it's exactly. So I think AD was more the venue. We had Soul Rose, the sister.
Yeah,
with
so
the
Chef
amazing
Wanda
food.
with Time to
Chef
Eat.
Wanda, Time to Eat. So we were able to kind of, send something her way, and she could bring that amazing food, which was, it was all gone. So
Yeah.
and then of course we had, a couple of other brothers, a couple of other influencers that helped us as well. So.
Yeah, there were a lot of other influences. There's so many.
I don't even want to
It's like, because you don't want to miss anyone, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, how come you didn't? It was like, I'm so sorry. Charge my heart, not my. Well, charge my brain,
Charge
not
it
my
to
heart.
my brain.
There we
not to
go.
my heart. Yes, yeah. That's
We know, y'all know what we talking about, right? So you guys, right here on Futureland 365, where we highlight Cleveland's bold innovators, entrepreneurs, and creatives. And Mr. Lawrence is one of those individuals. We're here at Studio Blkbox. So tell us about Studio Blkbox. Like, how did this come to life? And how long has it been in inception?
How much time do we have? But
We have 45 minutes.
and just keeping it short. To kind of backtrack a little, Studio Blkbox actually came about by way of me being a tech. So let me so I was a tech by default. I used to work for a company called Regency Technologies for years, for like 8 years. And I was in what you would call the electronic sector. So I used to buy and sell electronics in bulk. And so in doing so, I kind of was first introduced to the hip hop scene in Cleveland, like Yanni and Chip the Ripper and Big Duke and all of those guys, helping them create like production systems, getting them Apples and Mac computers at the time. They were real popular.
Wow.
So I kind of, made my name in that space, but the term black box came from me selling these. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but I've always been ahead of the curve. So they had these, they were similar to Fire Sticks. And so they were these black boxes where people can get the, like free TV and all that.
Okay, I know what a black box is.
So what it was,
they used to be.
Yeah, it was really like this black box, and I didn't want anyone to know what the item was, so I got these stickers called Black Box and just put them on there. So it kind of started out like that.
Okay.
Just me trying to move a product without letting somebody know where the product came from, and putting a sticker on it called Black Box because it was actual black box. From that, I said, well, why can't I start trying to put content on these black boxes that I was selling to people? And that's how it's kind of came about, the name. But in theory, the company came about when we started. We had a complex called Dream Creative Complex in Bedford. I think this was 2015, about 2014, 15. And it was a co-working creative space. So if you were a creative, we provided you with podcasting, we provided you with photography, we provided you with everything you needed to be a creative, including computers. It was just a really dope space, really dope concept. We had a lot of traction. I guess the launch was successful. I can say I really thought it was going to be that thing that was going to bring the city together, but unfortunately, like most creative spaces in that time, because it was so new and people didn't really understand it, it kind of didn't work, and so I kind of moved on from it and figured out how to just downsize. But it was a good idea. I just think like with co-working spaces, like, and this is when my mentor told me this, he said, when people are in a pinch, the first thing to go are gym memberships and subscriptions and things of that nature, because they're saving money.
Yeah.
So that's what I was really actually that. So when, they might have started for 2 months, 3 months, but once things got tight, they're like, hey, I can come back to this later. And that model wasn't enough to sustain the business model.
Yeah, I think it was way ahead of its time, because you see that now.
Yes.
Yeah, you see that now. You see a lot of studios or spaces that are geared towards creatives and innovators who are photographers or multimedia personalities like myself, or simply storytellers, right? And I don't like to say simply, because there's an art to telling stories, right? Or
That's
storytelling.
Yeah.
So what would you say? You said, okay, we had to pivot a little bit. I had to move along with What can you share with our audience who are probably in their early stages or thinking about it, or even have been in this space for some time? What were some of your lessons that you learned and that you use now?
At the time, my motto was to kind of just create this space and, just promote it to the public and just allow the public to kind of tap in with you. It's kind of like, I just put my service out there and anyone that came, would be a good thing for me. Mm-hmm. But what I came to realize is that instead of me waiting for people to come for me or come to me or find out about me, was to kind of reach out to those who influencers, people that had brands that were already doing something, and be like, hey, I could help you get to, a better place with what you're doing. I can help you expand your brand. So I just pivoted in that regard and kind of stopped focusing on advertising and word of mouth, and they're like, no, I don't want
to you.
Yes.
I'm finding who I want to serve, right?
Exactly. Yes. And it's like, I'd rather have 10 highly influential clients instead of 100.
Yeah.
It's less work sometimes. But it's, you have a higher profit margin because they are so successful that the chances of what you're doing for them will make them more successful. So right. I kind of roll with that model. But it was a little bit of trials. Like I actually once DCC, and I must say it broke my heart because I put a lot of time, a lot of money into that space. And it's, I kind of say that lesson because it wasn't a loss, because me and my partner Garden, we talk about this a lot. Out of that came relationships. Out of that lesson came just knowing how to live stream even better. So that by the time that particular span of my business had kind of moved on, I was like, I kind of understood what live streaming was and how the city of Cleveland could benefit from it. And so I moved in that direction.
Yeah, I love that so much. And thanks for sharing that because it is so, you could have gave up. You could have just said, you know what, this is enough. I'm going to go back to what I know, right? Go back to tech sales. Yeah. And do those things. But you said, no, this vision and this why is just, it's right here. So I have to keep going with this. I have to move this along. Did you want to say something to that?
Yeah, because it was kind of like, and sometimes it takes, like you say, sometimes you can be ahead of the curve. And because I was a tech, I was always ahead of the curve. So I would go to these conventions and I knew about live streaming and I knew that live streaming was coming and podcasting was coming.
A small percentage of people knew. It's like, everyone's like, what are you talking about? That is wild. That would never happen.
And that's kind of how it was. So, just to come back a little, while also doing Dream Creative Complex, I started what I call a funeral streaming company. And it was just like me seeing Kobe's funeral or anybody famous funeral. Was like, why can't the regular person have that? If I can't attend a friend's funeral, I would like to be able to watch it or be there in some sort of virtual way. So I reached out to several funeral homes and kind of like, test the water. Would you be interested? Most of them said yes. But they wasn't ready. One particular funeral home, Gaines Funeral Home.
They weren't ready on the monetary side, or not ready with the equipment or the staff, or what do you mean?
It's from the monetary, or just knowing how to, I guess, offer that to their client base. So they're like, yeah, it's a good idea. Yes, we would like to have that. They also seen Kobe's funeral, Michael Jackson's funeral, Whitney's funeral. So they knew it was a thing they needed, but they just didn't know how
to package it. Didn't know how to present it or offer it to their clients.
Yes. And so what I did was, but one funeral home, Gaines Funeral Home, was the first one that gave me a chance. But it was so new that she would offer to clients. They were like, they would decline because it was, maybe they couldn't afford it, was in the budget, but it just didn't really pan out until COVID. That's when, COVID was I think that's when, things
People
really
were
started.
forced to see the vision.
Yes,
People were forced to try new things.
Yes.
So many organizations were.
Yeah.
People working from home, all those things, kids learning from home, stressing parents out.
Yeah, and I was
But,
terrified though, because my entire business was based on podcasting. And when COVID happened, I was in the radio station. I was doing a little something with Incognito, with AM radio as well, news talk. And COVID happened. They said nobody can come in the studios. And I was like, oh, how am I going to make a living? You know what I mean? So I was stressed, to say the least. But then my phone rang. Gaines called me, said, Larry, that service that you offered, I need it every single day. Are you available? Like, yes. She said, well, can you do, how many funerals can you do? I said, how many I need to do? Well, at least 10 a day. Like,
oh my goodness.
It was because COVID. And I could say this a little, like, the funeral homes knew what was happening with COVID before we did. Because I remember one of them telling me, like, there's a high influx of bodies coming in. We don't know why.
I see.
And so they,
huge indication. They just didn't understand why.
Wow. But then, when COVID happened, we all kind of knew what it was.
Right.
But in that space, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't even want to be in the funeral business.
I bet.
It was a good idea. It was just having an idea and kind of executing it and actually doing a funeral, and it become real sad and depressing made me like, I'm done.
Yeah, that was a bit much.
And that was before COVID. But then when COVID came, it kind of put me in a position to where, I had to, because I had to kind of, keep my lights on, keep my bills paid. Because even though it was COVID,
life goes on.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the dichotomy of life, right?
Yes.
You have the death and things, trying new things, all that, being stretched at one time. So, man, thank you for sharing all of this. I had no idea about this, and that really just shares a little bit more on your expertise and your area of genius. But we'll get more into that. So, before we get all the way into that, you all, this is Nikki B here, Futureland365, right here on WOVU 95.9. We'll be right back, you all, after these messages.
Come on, y'all! We got some big news, Cleveland. Your favorite community radio station, WOVU 95.9 FM, is now on iHeartRadio. That's right. No matter where you are, you can stream the voice of the village anytime, anywhere. Get all your favorite shows, the hottest community conversations, and the music that moves the culture. Now just a tap away on iHeartRadio app. So whether you're at home, at work, or on the go, take WOVU with you. Search WOVU 95.9 FM on your iHeartRadio app, because our voices matter 24/7, and so does the mission. WOVU 95.9 FM. Our voices united, mission driven 24/7. The voice of the community, a Burton Belcar community radio station.
Hey there, you all. It's Nikki B here, Futureland365, and we're back in a new studio.
Yes,
working with in partnership with Studio Blkbox, and I thought this would be the best way to introduce who we're working with on the production team, and we got S. behind the cameras as well. Shout out to my guy back there.
I wish y'all could see him.
He's back there dancing, making sure that I keep my time honest. So you guys, again, we're here with Mr. Lawrence Bonton.
Bonton.
I'm gonna get it right. Wait. So I wanted to pivot a little bit, as you shared with us. If you haven't tuned in yet, you missed his origin story and how he got started here, and some of the challenges and lessons that he overcame to be in this position now. But now I wanted to pivot and talk a little bit more about some of your most meaningful projects and some of the things that you're working on. I know there is a long list, and I know there's some things that you can't talk about. Yeah. So the things that you can talk about, probably 2 or 3 meaningful projects. I know about one, but I don't know if you could talk about it yet.
Yes, I can touch on it a little bit, but for me, some of my most meaningful one, I would say like extreme hip hop 1 year anniversary. That was when I knew that I can do live production on a large scale, because we rented out the convention center. We had huge jumbotrons. It was a whole lot going on, similar to what you would do when you went to a convention or something like that. And I was able to make that go in a way that made myself proud.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And like
I can feel it over here. I can feel that.
And
so what was it that made you, like, what was that moment, or what was that feeling like?
It was pure, like, I don't know, just
genius, just floating.
Yeah, I just felt like I felt good about what I was doing. Because, a lot of times, I mean, I knew I was good. People would tell me, hey, you're good at this, you're good at that, so on and so forth. But something of that magnitude, with as many people that were there, and with all the technical components that were happening, and I had individuals working under me or in collaboration with me, that I was responsible for. So that was like, okay, I can do this. It told me if I had the production team that was provided to me for that particular event, I can do it again and again and again. So
what, I know you were talking about the team and who you collaborated with. So what is a number of teammates working with you doing this?
I think they Huntington has their own tech team, and I think it was maybe about 7 or 8 of them. We had like multiple cameramen, and then I have to give a shout out to Shay. She's my partner. She rocks with me with extreme hip hop. But we had multiple cameramen. We had drones. We had at least 20-25 people that were on our team. And
so preparing for something like this, right? How many meetings, or in person, virtuals? What does that look like?
It looked crazy, and it was well worth it. It was.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of chaos before the calm, or before the actual event. There's a lot of chaos.
So I think we were about 7-8 months, prior to starting. We was having a meeting every Tuesday. Then, of course, when we got closer to our deadline, it became 2 or 3 times a week. So it was a lot of meeting, a lot of discussion, a lot of planning, a lot of disappointments, thinking that something was going to be this way. And, but I love those moments, because it challenged me to, like, okay, if this go wrong, how you resolve it. And I was able to because I don't want to take all the credit, because I couldn't have done it without them. But we all kind of came together, and we did that. Yeah. We did it.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things in projects, or when you have a vision for something, and how everyone shows up in their particular assignment and their thing that makes them beautiful, right? Or their specific genius. I talk about that all the time, or their sweet spot, right? And something comes together, like this painting, right? So he had an idea, he had a vision, and it came together so beautifully. I think that's great. Who is this artist, by the way, now that we're right here?
This is Van Monroe, and
this is pretty sweet.
He's just Google him. If you Google Van Monroe, he's got pair of sneakers in the Smithsonian called, Yes We Can, with Obama on it. When Obama was running for president, he's painted for Spike Lee, I think posters, tennis shoes, all that. Just Google him. He actually, his story is quite interesting, because he was really good in high school football, but while in college, to work his way through college, he painted sneakers for players, just to kind of bring in extra cash, and then it just turned into something like just monumental. I do believe that if he had started when social media, like if he had started now, he'd be like farther along than what he is.
Yeah.
So this particular painting, and this I saw, and I maybe I can probably cut it into it so y'all can see some of the original paintings, but I saw one of the paintings that's on the opposite wall inside a Blkbox fix. And it was, I think, the young sister cutting hair. And I fell in love with it. I'm like, hey, I like that picture. And I think this is when the algorithms start really like listening to you, or like your phone listen to you.
And it started
so
coming
I
up
seen
on
that
your feed.
popped up on my phone. Like, hey, that's that painting I saw.
Yeah.
Found out who he was, reached out to him, and like, hey, I have an idea for a painting. I'm a big Apple fan. I wanna capture like Apple in a studio, but I want a brother in the equation. So he kind of came up with this for me.
Yeah, I love this so much. And one of the things that really draws me in is the creativity is just connecting things, right?
Yes.
So that was really my point for pointing this out. That drew my attention into what you're talking about, pulling something off of that magnitude. Everyone has to be like laser focused, locked in their genius. And you have to trust people, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
You have to trust people, but really trust yourself.
Yeah.
Knowing, hey, I got this. This is what I'm good at. This is my wheelhouse. This is my area of expertise, and this is going to be phenomenal.
Yes.
So, so putting that together and coming, so that was one of them.
Yes.
I love that.
And this same brother, he's all a part. He's also a part of this new thing we got going. It's called Project Open Door.
That I think that right there, like when I seen it, I was like,
yes. And that's still it's out there, but we still kind of keep a little bit of under wrap. But think of Project Open Doors like this mashup for creative. So all things creative, whether it's poems, song, art, cinema, play, it's going to be this mashup to where we bring these creatives and tell these stories through all of those mediums.
Yeah.
And so like the first installation will be the DJ, the drummer, and the dope dealer. And it's not what you think it is, but it's really dope though. But it's
no pun intended.
No pun intended. But it's a really, 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 really creative idea, creative way to kind of just speak to something that I felt needs being spoken to.
Yeah, I love that so much, and thanks for sharing that as well. Because I think it's important for us as creatives to always bring to the forefront what we are working on, so that we don't get settled and comfortable on what we already did. Right? I talk about that all the time, dusting off old trophies. It's important to know what you did, to add it to your resume and things like that, but what do you have to look forward to? Like, right, what's coming along, or what's getting me excited right now? What am I passionate about right now, right? Because maybe what I did before is not the new version of me.
That's I think that's factual for me.
Yeah.
I'm normally Gordon to tell you. That's why I think my Instagram's name is Low Key Successful, and I am literally that. I'm not one to kind of like boast about what I've done or this is probably like one of my first interviews. People like really know like, hey, this guy, people have seen me, but they don't know, how long I've been doing what I've been doing and how successful I am. And I'm not really the one to be, boastful. I just, God blesses me and I just choose to be humble, because as long as I've been humble, I've been able to just continue to grow in the way that I want to grow. And that's spiritually grounded. That's believing and knowing where all my blessings come from.
And they don't come from stars, right?
No.
They don't come from man.
No, it comes from
indirectly, but
yeah,
not.
It comes from the scriptures in which I read daily, and just kind of tell you like a little bit about how I know God works, because my having to do funerals in a weird way put me in church every single day. Every single day I'm going to a funeral and they're telling you about, if you don't get it right, then you know what that is. So I think that was God's way of, kind of getting me.
Come on, son.
Yes. Yeah. Come here. I got something for you. It's better than what you see out there. And I thank him for it. I thank him for guiding me in the direction in which I was wanting to be guided in, and being wise enough to know that I was, and just, locking in on that and just kind of moving forward with it. Cause, it's just been good things. God is good all the time.
All the time.
Every single day.
Every day,
every
all
way.
day. Thankful for his mercies that are new every morning.
Yes.
Right. How incredible is that, right?
Yes.
I don't want to get too deep because I would say this all the time. I'm deeper than the earth, and we'll be here. Okay, like, oh my goodness, be here crying and feeling things in my shana na. If y'all have been rocking, y'all know what that means. So drop shana na in the comments if you know what I'm talking about there. So the meaningful projects. That's amazing. I love that. And it keeps me like, oh, what do I have to look forward to? So I'm hopeful that you guys are reminded, if you don't have anything to look forward to, create something, right?
Yeah.
Tap into your child, and remember things that you used to do as a child. Jump rope, double dutch, paint, create mixtapes. Although it's not mixtapes, you can create a playlist or whatever streaming platform. It's still a mixtape, but it's not a physical mixtape. I remember mixtapes and CDs.
Yeah.
Okay,
They don't even know what that is. The kids, like, man, I think I work for Students Promise, but we always in front of kids teaching them podcasting, and I think we broke out like a cassette player. They was like. And just to see their reaction, it was like, what is this?
What is that?
I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, that is wild. I guess it's the same way with 8 tracks.
Yeah.
For me, I was like, what? Oh, okay. So I've seen it. I've seen the actual players. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, right? So yeah, that's really interesting. So tap into your child.
Yes.
Like, I think that's so important. That's when we really tap into our genius, is when we do things that remind us of our childhood in a beautiful, playful way.
Yes. And I think tapping into that is, for me, like that's my therapy. I don't really know how to say it because life be lifing. So sometimes you have to tap into that childhood sort of, energy that used to, that imagination just take us someplace else. So
yeah.
With my studio, like when I'm not out in the field working on others' vision, I'm in here kind of just tapping into my childhood.
Right. I love that so much because if you guys are listening to us on the radio, you can't see his face, but his face is lit up. His eyes are like glimmering as he's talking about that. That's how I know it's real. And something that I shared on my social media the other day is that, when you're finding that thing to do, when you realize the thing that gives you energy, that's it. That's the thing. Because I'm sure you could spend hours on a laptop or doing something, creating something. And it's like, oh man, it's been 2 hours. It's been 3 hours, 4 hours. Sometimes I have to pull myself away. And I'm starting to implement a 90 minutes. Okay. After 90 minutes, you need to get up and do something else. Right. So I've realized that like, oh my goodness, these things like this right here, this gives me energy.
Yes. And I think that's one of the keys to success, because when you're trying to be successful or finding that thing that's going to get you there, it has to be something you're passionate about, because in this space, in any creative space or any business space, it takes time. And if it's not something you're passionate about, eventually you're going to get bored of it. You're not going to want to do it because the results will not come overnight.
And it's going to show up in the work.
Yes.
It shows up when someone is having fun and when they love doing it. I know that has been true for myself and others that I've worked with. And even those that I respect have said, are you okay? It's like, dang, what are you talking about? Well, those individuals, very small group of individuals say, I could tell you didn't like doing that because look how it came up. I'm like, oh, yeah, that do look a little wild, or that doesn't look in alignment with who I am and what I do.
Yeah. So
that's really good. That's really cool. So I want to talk about Studio Blkbox and how you connect with community. Because I know you do a lot of work with churches and things like that. And you might mentor some of the young adults or the young people within the community, within the churches. But is the church the only place that you connect with the community as well with Studio Blkbox and its mission?
No, I connect with them with, like, say, through Students of Promise. It's an organization that goes into the schools and but actually makes a difference in closing that gap, that educational gap between our schools and those schools in better neighborhoods. So, what we do is we go into Cleveland Heights, we go into Warrensville, Bedford, and what we've been doing is teaching them podcasting, teaching them social, emotional skills, just teaching them or making them aware of those things that are outside of the typical like sports. Yeah. Now, because everybody can't.
Everyone is not athletic.
You know what I mean? Now,
although I was triple threat, but.
Was you?
Yes, I played all the sports. Okay. I sure did. I would say because my household was pretty strict, so I did anything I could to get out of the house.
I got you.
So, and doing those things, I found that I was really good at them. But one thing I was missing, and that's something like, what is it? Cleveland Promise or
Students of Promise.
Students of Promise, and also Junior Achievements. We had them on the podcast last season. I'm like, dang, I wish I was a part of that type of program. Although I love the sports programs that I was in, but I think it would have been more of a benefit on that aspect of it, because I could just see how far I would have been.
Yeah, you had that push.
That other push. Yeah.
I think we all need to kind of go back and find someone to mentor, find someone that, that can benefit from what you've possibly been through. So I'm always trying to, young brothers, especially because I think that a lot of young brothers fall to the wayside, and we kind of, you know what it is.
I do. Yeah.
So it's like, I think we really need to pour into them. So what I try to do is I've always done it, find, some brothers that are, a few years younger than me. I pour into individuals that are trying to go where I've been, and like, hey, this is how I did it. Maybe that can help you, figure out a few things. But the youth is important to me. It really is. So like, that's my community. That's my ministry. Like my pastor, he's like, powerful. My ministry is just finding the youth and just, giving them alternatives to what they normally see on a day-to-day basis.
And then before we go to break, you don't have to find them, because as you're walking, they're attracted to you. I'm sure of it. I'm sure they want, like, I'm sure as soon as you open your mouth, you start talking with them, they're like,
oh, I'm speaking.
Man, I already know it. I could tell. You meet people where they are. And I think that's what gravitates people to you, right? And vice versa, right? They see that you're a safe space. They see that you have this knowledge. They see that you are not playing any games. That's another thing too, right? But you like to have fun. Yeah. So you have to be very wise as a serpent, but harmful as a dove, right? In order to connect with the youth. So I love that so much, because I know he has more to say, you all,
yes,
on that topic. So you all, before we go even further, we'll be right back. We'll take a break right here. So you guys, welcome back. It's Nikki B here, Futureland365, right here on WOVU 95.9. And I'm here with Studio Blkbox owner and visionary, Mr. Lawrence Bonton.
She getting it though.
Almost.
She said Bonton.
Almost. I had to whisper it because I wasn't confident.
I used to get cheese. They used to call me Wong Tongue Sue Bunt, man. They used to, man.
That's why kids, we can be mean, but we can be sweet as well. And I say that because I'm still a child, okay? Still very youthful. But I do have a bone to pick with you, sir. When I asked you about some projects that you're working on right now, presently, that you can talk about, you did not mention Futureland365 podcast, being the part of the production team.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
But that's the future.
Is it the future? Now. Okay, all right.
I think we saved that for last.
I see.
Simply because,
okay. We can talk about that last.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it now. Let's talk about the future for Studio Blkbox.
The future for Studio Blkbox is exactly what you're seeing now. It's going to be this collaboration with this amazing brand I've been a big fan of for forever, but bringing my little something to what they already have.
Big something.
And now everybody gets. I'm guilty of always saying little this, little that, but I have to let me be fair with y'all. Like, and this is something my buddy Frank West once told me. He said, what type of company? I got a little company. He like never say little, but I like in my mind it's just small, because if I think it's big, then I don't really have nothing to go for. So if you think it's big, that's okay. But I kind of like, and it's not a negative thing for me, because I feel in my mind I'm not where I want to be. I want to get here. So I'm always coming from that space like this can be bigger. And I think it's really that low key in me, that humbleness in me that won't allow me to be braggadocious, won't allow me like, hey, I'm the man, I'm this, I'm that. I just think that just to operate in my gift and all of it will come.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I think that's noble of you to keep that mindset, I'm reminded of how Paul would always talk about, I'm a filthy rag, right? But I'm the apple of his eye, I'm a son of a king, right? But I'm ugly, dirty, not worthy. So this mindset reminds me of that, like, don't think more of yourself than what you are, but you are. Yes. I know it's wild, these mysteries of life.
And for me, I am very confident in my gifts, because I know where they come from. I just choose to kind of articulate them in a way that, I don't want anyone that's coming up behind me or is trying to get to where I'm at to make them think that I am better than. Even though, I could probably be better than you at something, I'm quite sure you are better than me at something. So I always try to just downplay that, because especially in this day and age, I see the hater thing is real. Like, to keep the haters at bay, like, okay, I'll be low key with it. Because as soon as you start becoming or operating in your space and really like gravitating or grasping onto the I'm this great, that's when the hate comes. And I'm not worried about that, but it's just more of a thing to kind of keep them feeling a little bit better about themselves, because this world,
Yeah. So even with that seeing the future of Studio Blkbox, how many, or what, is there a metric that you can put a number to that, or how many companies you want to work with? Actually, I'll be even more clear. Is there an organization or a company or an individual brand that you want to work with, or the ideal person?
Yes, it is.
So it's two things: the ideal client, right? And then who is your dream brand or organization that you want to work with?
Spring Hill. It's on my vision board. Been on there for years.
Say it again.
Spring Hill. That's LeBron James's production company. They do a lot of podcasting. So Spring Hill has been on my list for the longest. And like, I would love to be able to do something that will attract their eye, which will in turn allow me to be partners with them. Yeah. So that's really what I'm focused on. And I think these upcoming projects should garner me some attention that I might not have had from individuals and entities. But I'd say Spring Hill Revolt was on that list, but Diddy. And
no, I understand.
Yes, but Revolt was on that list, and but Spring Hill is been there as well. So
I think those are very much in alignment with what I see your brand is, and the mission and the vision that you have, and how passionate and purposeful and intentional you are about the work that you do and the individuals you collaborate with. Let's talk about how important it is for diverse groups to tell their stories, and those narratives, for us to control the narrative, coming from a storytelling company.
I believe that's extremely important, because if you allow your story to be told by others, then they will most likely get it wrong. You know what I mean? As been, evidence in how our communities are sometimes depicted, not in a negative sense, and we're much, much, much bigger than that. We're much more than crime and the things that we kind of see on the news daily. So I believe that us being in control of the content that is out in front of the world about us is really our mission. All of us that are creators, we should try to control that in as many ways as possible.
Absolutely.
Hollywood will not tell our stories like we want our stories to be told. And we see the change lately. We see that we're starting to see better stories. And, I applaud Kugler and just the creatives that kind of, just go beyond the stereotypes, you know what I mean? And kind of just show us in the lights that we need to be shown in. So, but I think we definitely have to take control of that. And my thing is that content is really currency. It's like really this, you can exchange content for anything nowadays. And it's not just from a monetary standpoint. Content can revolutionize. I don't mean in a negative way, but it can revolutionize a people or a brand or anything to be something much greater than it currently is by simply just putting it out in front of people that have never seen it. So like Futureland and, they're on my vision board. But I'd say I spoke that into existence maybe about 2 years ago. And I want to work, and he'll tell you, I said, I want to work with Futureland. Yeah. I really, really want to work for Futureland, man. Cause I'm very futuristic in that sense. And the name itself pulled me because it's I believe that the future is all of this stuff that we see on the underground, hip hop was on the underground, all the creative stuff that we see in that see the light, the way we dress, how we talk, all of that is next. Yeah. And that's one thing, I can tell you, if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for that next big thing, look at the youth. They have it. You know what I mean? The next Ray Jr. is in high school. From a Cleveland's perspective, the next DJ KY, the next Nikki, the next Alicia, they're in high school or junior high or middle school, and they're up next. And that's our future. So let's focus on not just those who have made it, but let's find those who have that potential to be next. And I think if we find them individuals, help cultivate them, give them the game we have, give them, let them learn from the lessons that we've.
Exactly.
And they will be a much better version of us.
Right. So that road, that distance is shortened, right? Yes. That's what mentors and individuals, teachers are supposed to do, right? Lengthen that distance from here to there. Yes. So that's something that I wish that I had. I did not have that. I think I had it in different people and things like that, but not directly in front of me. So I would have loved that. Yes. Or would I have? I don't know.
I think
right?
we would. You know what I mean? Unless you just rooted in, not wanting, to accept advice from somebody else. You know what I mean? I think naturally, if someone is giving you something good, even if you don't digest it all or utilize it all, it will make you a better you eventually. It's true. Because my mother told me things that I was like, whatever. Later on in life, you was right, Mama. You was right.
She was right about that. Yeah, absolutely. I love this so much. Thinking futuristic, thinking in the future, but leaning in, right? What I mean, that leaning in and listening to what our youth are talking about, right? We say that all the time here. There's no future without the youth.
That's true.
So we have to listen to them, let them talk. It may take them a little bit to get it out, but let them get it out. Right. So I think that's so important and pivotal to where Cleveland will go if we continue to embrace and listen in to our children, especially our young men.
Yes.
Especially young men of color.
Cleveland's next. You know, I tell Gordon, I tell you exactly what I tell everybody that's in my circle. Like, Cleveland has so much talent, man. If a collective of us just focus on finding the best of what Cleveland has to offer and offering it to those outside of Cleveland, it will become what Atlanta, what New York, what LA is. Because Cleveland is so, right now it's not moving outside of Cleveland. I think we just need to focus, stop worrying about how they feel about you here in your city, because your city will always be the last to embrace you, and just put it out in front of those who don't know about you. And that's how you get that global sort of
visibility,
yes.
people to start to identify like, oh, okay, that's me too. I can relate to that. So with that, I mean, this is perfect segue right here, my guy. Like we're right here in tune. We're a good frequency together. So what advice would you give to that young individual who was you before Studio Blkbox, or before where you are now? Say the version of you that was 30, 25?
I would say don't even worry about the money aspect of it. Forget about the money, speak to your passion, and everything else will follow. Everything else will follow. If you focus on money, more than likely it won't come. You know, not to say be an entrepreneur, you know, they be about your business, but focus on that purpose, that skill set, becoming better at what it is that you want to become. And if you're the best at it, money always follows.
Yeah, that's good. And I love that advice, because I've been with you in real time where you said, I'm not concerned about the money.
Because it comes.
It comes.
Yes.
It comes, right? Something that my boyfriend said, shout out to LDA with the thinking class. He says, and make sure I get this right. If not, please drop it in the chat, honey. Forgive me. Well, he says, commitment precedes creativity. So if that is true, then the currency comes after the creativity.
Yes.
Right?
Very true. I like that. I'm gonna have to steal that, bro.
Such a wise man, you know. So he shared that with me, and it just put a lot of things in perspective. Like, girlfriend, it is not about the dollars. No. What are you committed to?
Yes.
Yeah. And once you make a decision and commit to that thing, the creativity is going to come. And once the creativity comes and you put it out there, you do whatever it is that you need to do with that, whatever feels good, right? Whatever aligns with your brand, with your conscience, all those things. Guess what? The money comes. The currency comes after the creativity. So there's commitment, creativity, and then there's currency. So what you're saying is absolutely on. And I've experienced it, not only in my own personal life, but with you, because you're like,
I've never, no, it was a time that I did focus on that. And that's when I think things didn't go the way I wanted. And I just started operating in my passion. I love doing what I do. I can do this all day, every day, and not have to get paid. Of course, I have to get paid, I got bills, but I could do it if I could without getting paid.
Yeah, that's good. And I think that's perfect right there too. In this conversation, although I don't want to, because there's so much more that I want to learn from you, but I know I'm going to learn more as we move further into this relationship and this collaboration and partnership.
Yes.
So thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
But before we leave, I want you to share with everyone all of your platforms or how they can reach out to you if they want to become a client. How do they do all those things? So share all your stuff.
Well, clients, like I say, I'm real selective with the client base, but you can find me on Instagram at lowkey successful, lowkey_successful, Studio Blkbox on IG as well, studioblkbox.com. And you know, if you're free on a Sunday, come to Mighty Temple Ministries, and you catch me up top with have about maybe 4 or 5 youth that help us, you know, do our live streaming. So that's every Sunday. I'm at about 5 churches on Sundays.
I don't know how he does that. He has a good team, right?
Yes.
One of those individuals is right here behind the camera. He's on the ones and the twos, on the audio, making sure that we stay on time, right? And we're doing the things that are necessary so that you all can hear this, see this on all of the streaming platforms. But number one, you hear it first on WOVU 95.9. And that's it. That's all, you all. This has been Futureland365. Nikki B here. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. I need to share my takeaways from this conversation.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. What takeaways do I have? Well, the number one thing is one of the last things that you shared is don't chase the money. Because you're walking in your purpose, you're doing your thing, you're walking intently, and you're in alignment. Those things will come to you. That's a cherry on top, right?
Yeah.
Everything else, that's the real work. That's the mission, not the monetary things, right? And another thing that a key takeaway here is that tapping into our youth, right? Not only the youth within our community, but the youth within ourselves.
Yes, I like that. Yes.
So tap into you. So I'm going to tap into my little Nikki. I hope that you guys are tapping into your little versions of selves, right? So that you find your genius, find that thing that you used to love to do, and you'll find that creativity. Once you're committed to something, the creativity comes, and then the currency flows as well. So you all, for sure this time. That's it. That's all. Oh, here we go. Futureland365 right here. I'm
Great
sipping
things to come.
hydration water.
Yes.
Water.
Yes.
Yeah, great things to come. Let's do a cheers to that.
Yes,
There we
it
go.
is.
All right, you all. Well, that's it. That's all. Futureland365. It's Nikki B here. See you guys next time. Peace.